So I decided to start a bit of a series on my channel going through all the foundations that I have, because I seem to have a lot of foundations for some reason, and so I decided to kind of just go through them and show you guys how they all kind of fit on my face and how they work on my face. So the first one that we're going to be doing is this foundation. It is the matte Poreless foundation from Maybelline. It is for the normal to oily skin. The claims are that it mattifies and refines pores, matches natural tone, natural seamless finish, and yeah, that's basically what it claims. So before I go ahead and start using it, I'm going to go ahead and prep my face with just moisturizer because it's been like so dry. I'm just going to go in with this. It's the Clean and Clear Blackhead Clearing Astringent. Next, I'll be using this Lumin moisturizer. This is the daytime one. Next, I'm going in with this. It's the Blur and Redness Control one. Next, I will be using the actual foundation. So I've used this foundation for quite a while. I've always had a Maybelline foundation like this in my collection. Because it's affordable, you can kind of use it, you know, without feeling guilty or something like that, you know? I'm just using this brush. I don't know where I got this brush, but again, I've always had this brush. Might have stolen it from my mom. I really don't mind this foundation. The only thing that I find is that it is on the orangey side, so it's really warm, so it could easily make you look a little bit like orangey, if you know what I mean. But in terms of the coverage itself, it's really good. I like using it and then going over it with another, like a powder that has more of a cooler tone, just so that it balances out. And I like to apply my makeup usually with my fingers, to be honest. I don't mind actually using a makeup brush like this, so like one that's flat. Just because it really does apply the product pretty well, and it actually works as a blender as well. I normally use a beauty blender to blend in my makeup because I use my hands to apply it, but in this case I'm just gonna stick to the brush. And I find that using a makeup brush versus applying your makeup with a beauty blender is so much better, just because it doesn't absorb too much of the product. So this is what one layer of that makeup looks like. Closer. I'm not actually going to add a second layer of this product just because, yeah, it'll be too much for me, but you can actually layer it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use my usual face powder. The only thing, you guys, is I think in a previous video I'd mentioned that I sometimes put benign powder in there because this particular shade is actually on the cooler side. So when I wear the makeup just on its own, I tend to find that it's too cool, so it makes me look kind of muddy and ashy. But when I add my benign powder, it works out fine. Now, Iman makes the right shades. It's just that I picked out the wrong one for my skin tone, so that's why I just have to use this until it's finished. So this is what the benign powder looks like. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and try and avoid the orangey parts because I don't want to look too orangey, if that makes sense. So this is what it looks like after I've applied the powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my full makeup, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts about the Maybelline foundations. I am done applying the rest of my makeup. When it comes to drugstore foundations, this is definitely one of my favorite drugstore foundations. First of all, Maybelline in my area were the only makeup line that actually started making makeup that was for my skin tone. So of course I ran to Maybelline when I decided to start wearing foundation. And so yeah, and what I like about Maybelline as well is that they've got a wide range of shades. So if you're super light, because I know people who are super fair skinned always talk about how they also don't get a lot of products for their skin tone. For those of us who have a darker complexion, it's also pretty hard to find companies that are affordable, that make foundations for our skin shade. So Maybelline is definitely one of them. So I have a couple more Maybelline foundations to review, but they do make them in so many textures and that sort of thing as well. So the things that I look for in a foundation often are the price, shades, and the wear. So with this foundation, the price is really good. I always buy it when it's on sale. They also have powders and that sort of thing. I don't, from this same collection, but I don't actually use their powders. And then in terms of the shades, the shade is actually one of my favorite things about it, even though yes, it does have that orangey undertone, but it's nice. You just have to blend it better and make sure that if you're using a setting powder, you use a cooler setting powder. At least that's what I do. And then lastly, in terms of the wear itself, it is long lasting, at least from my experience, so I tend not to ever retouch my face during the day. That being said, of course, it's not a high-end product, so it does have that whole smudging thing that if you're a darker skin girl, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You hug someone and then it, like, you know, it just smudges. So to avoid or minimize that from happening, I tend to set my makeup, and when I set my makeup, I don't have things like that. But yeah, once you set it, you get rid of that problem. In terms of the whole matte thing or poreless, I don't know, like I think it definitely has a good finish, like meaning it makes my skin look better than it probably is, but I wouldn't go as far as saying matte. Will I buy this product again? Of course, I've been buying it since it came out, and so I'm going to continue buying it, and it is perfect, like I said, for everyday wear, when you just don't want to spend so much money. Some of us are now beauty gurus and stuff like that, and so I don't know, like I'm not gonna spend crazy amounts of money on makeup. So this is something that is affordable for an everyday look and a regular person. Let me know what your favorite drugstore makeup foundation is, and also let me know what you look for when you're buying a foundation. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.